Hello out there in YouTube land. Uh, it is, it's myself, Strongbow, and I'm coming to you off the grid. I've been out of my town here, my little homestead, if you will, for the last, I don't know, week. I was kind of stuck down in the lower part of the Kenai Peninsula due to snow and weather and kiddos. And I have come back up here yesterday or last night to check on the place and clear out the snow. It is snowed over a foot here. You can see outside quite a bit of snow to deal with. And the reason I'm making this video today, it is December 9th, 2021. And several reasons. First and foremost, I'm outside and I'm using a snowblower to help clear the driveway and just doing my things. I'm around living my life and not a care in the world. And I see these trucks driving down the road. And now, mind you, I'm fairly remote. The road does get plowed by a road grader every now and again. It's a gravel road. And there's a few homes around. I live on a lake. This little spot here, I'm calling the I was going to call it the Fortress of Solitude, but we're going to go to a different name, which escapes me ironically enough right now. Tranquility Base. There we go. I had to think of the moon landing. Tranquility Base is what I'm calling this because it's quite tranquil. I have a little bit of acreage to myself, beautiful woods, a lake that's private. No public access. There's a few homes and properties around it, big enough to land a float plane on. And I'm out there snow blowing. I've come in, I've had having a cup of actually hot cocoa for the first time in a long time. And I usually drink coffee, but I've been doing that all day. And that's probably not what I need right now in my system. And I noticed these trucks coming down the road with their yellow flashing lights on. Utility type of trucks. I'm actually looking out there now to see if any just went by. And as I'm snow blowing down at the end of the driveway, one of the drivers of the trucks leans out of his window, and I notice it's a utility company. And he was wondering. He says, "Is your power on?" And I said, "Well, yeah, all the time, usually." And he said, "Well, there's a large power outage in the area, and we've been driving by trying to pinpoint where we're at with it and looking for down lines because it's very windy today and a lot of snowfall. And we're concerned that you were generating power back into the grid or if you were still on power." And I had to explain to him that I'm off grid, not connected to the utility at all. I don't even have an electric line at the property line there. I didn't pay for it to come in. I could have spent, $20,000 or $30,000, whatever insane amount they want to connect power here, but I chose not to, hence being off the grid. So the guy smiles and he said, "Makes a lot of sense, especially on days like today." Now, granted, I agreed with him and chuckled with him, and he went on along his way. And I stood out there and I looked around. I can only see a couple of homes from my spot here, and they're all dark. Now, I don't know how long this power failure has been going on, and I am insulated from it because, as you can see, I have lights on. I have heat from my wood stove and my lovely addition over there, which is my little fan that operates off of the heat of the stove, and that's the Peltier effect and in full effect. And I'll get into that probably in another video at some other time. But that little fan runs off of just the heat, generates electricity off the heat of the stove and the cooling fins at the top. So it generates electricity with a difference in temperature. And man, does it make a difference. It really does circulate the air enough in here to really make it comfortable. So While my neighbors and fellow Alaskans in this area are dealing with incredible snowfall for this year, really cold temperatures. We've had a lot of temperatures in the -0 Fahrenheit, especially at night, 5, 10, 20 below at night with the wind chill, of course. We got a lot of wind today, 30-mile-an-hour gusts. So while they handle and deal with all that, I do wish them well. I hope no one is injured, and I hope that people do have backup systems or they get to a warm place if they don't have one. And it reaffirms my decisions on why I'm doing what I'm doing. There's the other truck went down the road. Sorry to interrupt there, but went down to look. They're looking for the down power lines, and I think there's more than one in this area. So it's off grid is huge, and that leads me kind of into my next thought. With everything going on in the world, like I said, it's December 9th, 2021. Being as self-sufficient and independent from the system as possible is equals freedom. No one can hold anything over me on my power or my heat. No one can say I must do X, Y, or Z, or they're going to turn it off or charge me more for it. Granted, I'm paying for gasoline and some propane, so the prices go up, but I'm not beholden to it. Worst case scenario, cut my own firewood from my property or walk down the way to the public lands and harvest wood and bring it back on a sled. Beach coal, which I've explained in previous videos. Freedom. Having a stash of food, having the ability to grow your own food. You are not in the system enough to be told what to do. Granted, there's things you're going to want for luxury, or there's things that you can't grow yourself, for sure. But the most important thing is if you value this kind of a lifestyle, or if you're seeking it and you want freedom, you want to maintain that freedom, withdrawing from those systems that can control you is going to be tantamount to that as much as possible. And everything is a compromise in this world, everything. So withdrawing from certain financial systems or food systems or energy systems, you either have to provide that yourself, figure out a way to obtain it through others and not on the system, or do without. That's it. That's just it. This sense of accomplishment, the sense of ease that I get from providing my own heat, generating my own electricity, whether it be solar or even off the little generator, is huge. It's huge. I come and go as I please. I don't have an energy bill. I don't have a monthly bill I have to pay anyone. I've taken it upon myself to build up a food store, not an actual store, but a food storage supply, like a pantry, over the past couple years. That's substantial for myself and my children, and the people that I love. And I've encouraged them to do the same. Now I see police going by. Hope everyone's okay. This is very odd for this area because I live on a dead-end road, cul-de-sac, off the beaten path. So something's going on. I don't have to is a phrase that I like to have in the back of my head quite a bit. I don't have to. Someone says, "Oh, you've got to do this to do this." No, I don't have to. The whole idea of being governed is like ashes in my mouth. There are certain aspects to government that are beneficial, of course. I see the benefits of some of it. Things as of this date have gotten so far out of whack where the ones who govern are not doing a good job, and they're not the interests of the people they're governing are not at the forefront of their thoughts. It is all about how to use those folks that they are governing, how to control them, and I have never followed the rules when I was a kid, and I don't plan on following them now as an adult, and I don't. Most rules, anyways. I have a good set of morals, and I believe do no harm unless someone is trying to harm you or your loved ones. Then bring it about with every method possible. Let's see here. Now I have emergency crews stopping by my place, so we'll see if they're going to come in. No. Yellow lights I see in here in Alaska and most of the United States. Yellow lights or amber lights mean more of a utility service or a tow truck or not officialdom, not an official presence. When you see blue flashing lights, it could be a bit more serious, but when you see the red, white, and blue lights, that's the law. And I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm enjoying a cup of hot cocoa in my off-grid home. And for right now, here in Alaska, that's perfectly legal. And I know in some places in the United States or around the world, it's not legal, which is absolutely insane to me. And I think more people need to stand up and say, I can exist on this planet, and if I am not looking out and checking my perimeter, all clear. Where was I? To exist on this planet, as long as I'm not harming myself or others, destroying or damaging anything, let me be. And I feel the same for others as well. You know, you don't have to have a high-paying job. You don't have to go to college and go into debt. You don't have to live in a suburb or a city and pay massive amounts of money in utility bills and property taxes and that just to live, to be a being, to be an organism on this planet. And it's all from other people telling you what you can and can't do. Other biological organisms, similar to yourself, telling you where you can go, what you can do, how you can live, where you can live. When is enough? I see that a lot. I see other people on YouTube and other platforms discussing it. It's important. I feel it's very important to take a good look at where you're at. Take stock of who you are, what you want, how you want to live your life, how you want to be, the things in life you want to accomplish, things you want to do, places you want to see, relationships you want to have. And go and do those things. Find a way. Talk to people, network, whatever you need to do. This reset, as they're calling it, some people call it the global reset, the fourth turning. You know, there's a lot of different names for what many believe has been an orchestrated, planned event. Whether it's been orchestrated or not, planned or not, the facts are that it's happening. Things are changing. The way that you are living, or the way that we are living, day-to-day lives seems to change daily. The news is ridiculous to put it mildly, every day. The headlines are something out of a dystopian novel, and quite jarring. You know, this slow burn, this turning the heat up on the pot that the frog is in is getting turned up a little bit hotter every day. And I think that there's a lot of people starting to wake up and realize. And I also think, unfortunately, there's a lot of folks who are just complacent or who are afraid to stand up and start, number one, being vocal and acting in a non-violent way, but in a civil disobedience way, because of complacency or fear. It's a shame. And the more people who fall into that, the harder it's going to be to get out of this hole that we are digging ourselves as a species right now. So, not to end on a negative note, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to basically just formulate my thoughts and get them out there. And I encourage you to do the same. If you see this video and you agree or disagree, put your thoughts out there, put your ideas out there. Disagreeing with freedom and disagreeing with personal sovereignty, not my cup of tea. I'd like to hear the explanation on that or the rationality behind that, but not what this guy wants for myself or for my kids, for those I love around me, and for everyone. Actually, I think everyone needs to have the ability to do and be who they want to be and do what they want to do. Do no harm to others or yourself, or the planet around you. And if you're within that, I'd say go for it. Yeah, too much crazy right now. So unplugging, doing for yourself as much as possible is the best resistance to what's going on. To not have to make a decision from being told from someone else for fear of losing your ability to stay warm or have your lights on or have a meal in your belly. That's a big one right now. So I will leave it on that. And Tranquility Base. And that's the phone there, but that's my outside to the lake. And ciao for now, everybody. Thanks.